So we're so excited to have Pam Oslie join us today. How are you? Where are you connecting from?
Talking to me?
Yeah, Pam, you're Pam, right?
I'm in Santa Barbara right now, which usually has gorgeous weather, and today we've got our June gloom. So don't ever visit Santa Barbara in May or June, unless you like fog.
Yes, which sometimes fog is nice at the beach, and then it's like not too hot.
Yeah.
Well, I want to welcome Pam's audience, the Sign Network, those streaming live through the Humanities Team Facebook page, HT YouTube channel, and Stream Plus members that are here in the green room with us. Thanks for being members and being on camera. Because it is a live program, we will have time for comments and questions. So try to get it in within the first 30 to 40 minutes of the program. Feel free to post it in the chat wherever you're watching, and you may get your question answered by Pam. So let me share a little bit more about Pam. She is amazing, and I feel honored that I get to interview her today. And all of you are so blessed to hear from her wisdom and to be in her frequency, vibration, and resonating with her. So, Pam Oslie is a best-selling author, consultant, visionary, professional psychic intuitive, medium, and aura expert. Pamela has appeared on ABC, CBS, NBC, The View, Dr. Oz, The Ricky Lake Show, Hallmarks, Home and Family, Coast to Coast with George Norrie, Gaia with Lisa Garr, and hundreds of other television and radio shows. She has also been featured in many national magazines. Pam has spoken at the TEDx Talks, the International Forum on New Science, Fortune 500 companies, and many seminars for professionals in the psychology, education, health fields, and more. She has written 5 successful and popular books: Life Colors, Love Colors, Make Your Dreams Come True. I have to get that book. And her latest books, Infinite You and The Truth According to John. Welcome, Pam.
Thank you so much for having me on. I love what you guys do. So I'm just thrilled to be part of the messages you guys are getting out. I think it's awesome.
Well, we appreciate you being here and being our partner in all of this. And I'd love to for you to share your awakening story with our audience.
I mean, my transformation times, because my whole life, Carissa, has been about consciousness, spirituality, expanding, what I'm capable of doing. I love going beyond the boundaries. So that's pretty much been my whole life. I've been interested in it forever. And then it's been almost 40 years now. And I was working with autistic kids, learning disabled kids. Then I got into the rock and roll business and was promoting
Oh,
people, working with all the big celebrities. So that was fun. And then theater, working with them, promoting, doing all that bit. And then one night I went to hear a psychic speak. And I was just curious. I went with a friend, walked into a big old room, and the shaman psychic from England that was up in front of the crowd that night looked at me and he said, "You up here, you know how to do this work too." And I went, what? What, are you crazy? Anyway, he threw me in the water that night and he had me telling people that I'd never met before in my life or seen before in my life. I knew all kinds of things about people. I was shocked. I mean, for example, the first woman that I saw over to my right, the first time ever, Carissa, I saw the spirit of a little girl standing next to her. It never happened before in my life. And so I knew she was pregnant. She didn't know she was pregnant. She went to the doctor days after that, found out she was pregnant, and she did have a little girl. So that started my adventure, kind of threw me in the water. And people found out I was doing that. So I had people, read me, give me a reading, give me a reading. So it just built up really fast. And then a year after that experience, I met a woman who could see auras. She had synesthesia. And what she was describing about people,
so
um,
synesthesia is just for people who
synesthesia
don't
is
know, is
kind
like
of
seeing.
yeah, cross circuit. So people can see numbers, or they taste colors, or they smell.
Oh,
It's like the currents in the
interesting.
brain are crossing. So
Okay.
they pick up unusual things that we don't usually pair together. Anyway,
Hmm.
what she was describing about people, I had been psychically picking up about people, and there were behavior patterns that I kept finding in people. So I'd go, oh, that's a blue aura. Oh, that's a green aura person.
Oh.
Oh, that's a yellow person. Okay, I get it. So within a year of seeing what she was doing, I started being able to have the ability also to see and sense auras. So that's
Oh.
that pattern. And then I've always been a fan of quantum physics and our abilities. And once, honestly, Carissa, once you start opening up these abilities, it just expands into all kinds of things. So then I started being able to do remote viewing and talking to people on the other side and bending spoons and affecting the weather and understanding how to navigate parallel universes and seeing outside of time so I could see people's not just their past, present, and future in this lifetime, I could see their other lives. So it just, everything took off from there. And by the way, I believe everyone has these abilities and that this is where we're going with humanity, with our consciousness. We're expanding into all these advanced abilities, and more people are starting to have experiences like this. So it's, to me, it's really exciting because when I started like 40 years ago, that was way before people were really talking about this. And now it seems to be a real big interest with across the board.
That's amazing that this all started 40 years ago. And just to go back to your story a little bit, because I'm curious, what did you do with rock stars? Were you doing promotion?
Oh yeah. I in Santa Barbara, I ran the Santa Barbara Bowl for people who have been to the outdoor concert facility. I was the director there.
Oh,
And then I
amazing.
moved to Hawaii. So of course we had all the big bands coming in there. And then I moved to Hawaii and got involved in concert promotions with the big concert promoter over there. Which was so
Oh,
fun because with my the company I got hired by, I was the only female in the group in the business.
uh-huh.
So I got to go in the limos to the airport to pick up the big rock and roll stars and take them to the hotels and give them leis and get leis, that's flowers.
Yes.
Take them out to dinner and fly in the private planes to the other islands. So it was a great job.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
A
That's
lot of them are
amazing.
still a lot of them are still really good friends.
Oh, that's wonderful. I went to school in Santa Barbara, UC Santa Barbara alumni, and I've been to the Santa Barbara Bowl many times. So yeah, but anyways, I want to go back to the colors, and then we do have a question from the chat. So you've said that there are no good colors, no bad colors, and that our color is a reflection of our life's purpose. Can you tell us more about that?
So first of all, in my experience of doing this psychic work and talking to the other side and getting guidance over the last 40 years, what I've learned and been shown is that before we came here, we had a plan. We had a theme of what we wanted to do with our lives here. And so we left breadcrumbs behind. We left clues just in case we got here and forgot why we came here, which is so common to do. So it shows up in our main aura colors, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. In astrology, numerology, palmistry, iridology, we left all kinds of clues behind. Excuse me, let me get some water here.
Oh, yes. Important to hydrate.
Yeah, sorry, my throat. Anyway, so what I see are lots of different colored bands out from people. And the one or two colors of bands that are the closest to the body are what I call the life colors. Those are the colors that reveal who you chose to be in this lifetime, your personality type, the careers that are going to be fulfilling, your life purpose, relationship styles, and what's going to be fulfilling for you, potential health issues, how you are with money. All kinds of things are in those two bands. The outer bands in the aura, in my experience, now other people see the aura differently. It doesn't make somebody wrong or right, just means we're seeing it differently. The outer bands change all the time, depending on what's going on with the person at the time. So for example, if someone gets really angry, red shows up in the aura. Once they're not angry anymore, the red goes away. That's different than a red life color, which is not that I would limit people, which is a permanent color around you, just like your astrology signs are permanent. You know, your rising, your moon, yours.
Hmm.
So anyway, then I see 14 different aura colors, and most people have two main aura colors. I've seen people, some people have just one main aura color, but the majority of people have two colors, two bands of colors. So the reason I like to go into explaining people and what their aura colors reveal about them is, one, it helps people understand themselves, and it should validate what they've been sensing about themselves their whole life. So when they find out they're like you, a blue and a violet, which is not a common aura combination, by the way.
Oh my gosh, that's so interesting. Blue violet, you're reading from me because last time you read me, I
Was
was
yellow.
violet yellow.
Yeah, you've got a bunch of blue right now. So I'm seeing blue, violet, and yellow around you. So I don't know what's changed with you, but usually blues are about relationships, love, family, or children,
Oh,
or home.
yes. A
So,
lot's changed for me. Yes.
so
I
that'll be the blue and the violet and then the yellow. So it helps people understand who they are and gives them permission to be who they are. And then it also helps us understand each other. So we're not running around going, why can't you think more like me? Why can't you act and be more like me? We understand if somebody's a crystal or a green or a red, what their life purpose is and what their personality type is and what's important to them.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So I have a question from our audience. What is a world that works for all? What does that look like? And that's from Jeffrey.
Um, well, first of all, I think the biggest thing is understanding that we all came here for the experience. We're all incredibly beautiful, adventurous, and curious souls that came here for the experience to add to the consciousness, to add to all that is, to add to whatever you want to call it, universal mind, God, source. We came here to have experiences to add to that. So, and there's no wrong or right. There's no better than aura color or worse than aura color or life purpose. We have just different experiences and different reasons for coming. If we could understand that, and not have judgment about ourselves or other people, everyone would be so much happier, and a happy and fulfilled person is very safe to be around. It's people that are scared or wounded that are not safe to be around, because then they're, judging other people or afraid of other people or hostile to other people. So to me, all these tools help us understand who we really are. And once we really get that, wow, life is so much more fun. And then we don't even have time to pick on somebody else or judge. We're enjoying life too much.
Oh, that sounds amazing. We have a lot of questions about you helping to do aura readings for the people in the green room. And I was just like, I don't think we could do that right now. Do you still do aura readings?
You know what, Carissa, I've been seeing 6 to 8 people a day since 1984. And finally, in 2022, my guidance told me, okay, time for me to move on to a new level. So I finally stopped doing private readings. But I have all kinds of resources on my website, and you guys have
Yes.
resources, so that I really believe people have their own answers. So
Yeah.
my encouragement is now for people to get quiet, go inside, and really connect with who they are. And there's lots of tools and resources to help them do that. So no, I'm not doing private sessions anymore. I'm on to a new adventure too.
Yes, of course. That's amazing. So, but we do have a question now. I think this is an excellent question. And I just want to clarify about you not doing readings. I feel like your energy is also about empowering others to learn how to read themselves and connect with that. And you provide trainings for that. And we also have those courses on Stream Plus on reading aura colors. So I just love that about you.
Oh, it's so fun to watch your aura. Your aura just got more violet yellow when you were talking. So when you're at home in a relationship, your aura gets way more blue, violet with yellow. And now it just got really yellow violet. So I'm sure you can feel the energy shift when you do certain things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, when I'm excited, enthusiastic. Okay, got it.
And I do have the courses. You have my courses.
Yes.
So
Yes.
understand their aura colors, read the aura colors, or
Mhm.
them. And what I want to say too is that even if people can't see the aura, we all feel them. That's why you can meet somebody for the first time and feel instantly comfortable with them and like them, or other people you don't want to be near. You're feeling their energy field, their aura. And then the course that you have is helping people with all of these other abilities.
Yes, that's like super exciting. Embracing our inner superhero. Well, I would like to play a clip from your course on Stream Plus called Aura Colors. What is a life color? Can we play that first clip?
When you say a life color, what exactly does that mean?
So the one or two bands of color, because I see lots of different bands, the outer bands change all the time according to what's going on with the person at the time. So if they're angry, a lot of red shows up. If they're really on vacation, they're having a great time, I see a lot of yellow showing up, or a lot of children have yellow in their outer bands. But the life colors reveal the person's life purpose and their personality. And those colors don't usually change. And those are the colors that we're talking about in Love Colors on this site. We want to have people matching up their love colors, so their life colors, so they're compatible.
That's wonderful. I mean, you guys are so lucky. If you're not members of Stream Plus, let these courses today, these 3 courses, be a motivating factor for you to join. It's like incredible that Pam has given all of her knowledge and her courses here for us to enjoy. So we do have a question from the audience. If we have 2 colors like yellow and green, this is a great question, and we were to merge these by making turquoise, would you read these as 3 colors or just the initial 2?
Just the initial 2. And I love some of the things that's important for people to know is with your 2 colors, they reflect the 2 different sides of your personalities. And sometimes they're very compatible aura colors, and sometimes they can have challenges because each one of the aura color personalities has different priorities. So for example, blue's all about love and commitment and helping others and relationship. And yellows are big kids at heart, playful, like nature, don't want to commit to anything really. They're very free-spirited, spontaneous. I want to do some of this and some of this and some of this, but yellows can have a fear of commitment. So if you're blue yellow, then blue yellows, I see a lot falling in love with somebody who's not available, or they live a long ways away, or they're already married, or because the blue gets to fall in love and the yellow doesn't have to make a commitment. So when you learn about the 2 colors, then you find out how to create harmony between the 2. So they both get what they want. So they're both happy and fulfilled. And then they're living their life purpose here.
Well, I don't read aura colors yet. I'm going to take your courses and then hopefully I can get to that space, but I can feel energy. And I was just curious about you, if you're willing to share your colors, your primary colors, and how that has impacted your life.
Well, I gave some of that away. I'm a blue yellow who's added some violet. And by the way, the person with the yellow green question, I'm sorry I didn't answer that completely.
Oh,
Greens are like workaholics. They're the type A personality driven to accomplish and succeed in business and CEOs and sales and realtors. And they're very driven and very intelligent movers and shakers, type A. Yellows are the big kids at heart. And if yellows had their way, they wouldn't be working at all. They want to have fun. They want to play, unless it's creative, or they're creative people, or they're healers, or they're like athletes, physical. So can you imagine if somebody's got green and yellow in there? So the green's like, come on, I got to make money. And the yellow's like, no, I don't work that hard. I want to go play. But if the yellow's a creative person, then the green can figure out how to make money doing that, because yellows don't care about money and greens do. So you can see how there's a conflict there, right? But if they find out how to get along, then they can accomplish amazing things. Like Warren Buffett is yellow and green. So you see that. Anyway,
interesting.
so I'm a blue yellow, and I just gave some hint away that's like blues are into relationships and love and and blues are very emotional. Blues cry very easily. Yellows like to laugh at everything, and yellows like their freedom and their fun and their play. And yellows like to exercise, and yellows need to exercise, and blues don't like to exercise.
Mm.
I've been in a relationship now for 40 years, but I have a lot of freedom in that relationship, and we laugh a lot. So the blue gets to be in love, and the yellow gets to go play and have fun and have freedom. And, so that works. Plus, I'm in a relationship with a yellow. So that works because then we can play together, travel together, have fun, that kind of stuff. So I learned how to work them out, work them together. And I also learned which aura color personalities were going to be compatible with mine. Okay, because I've been in relationships in the past with people that I go, oh, now I know why that wasn't going to work out.
Mm.
Not that I believe anything's possible with relationships. If you understand each other enough, then anything can work out. But you want to know the positive side of those aura color personalities so you can bring the best out of each other. Because the downside of those aura colors, when somebody's out of power, or the negative side, you're going to have a really challenging time having a successful relationship with somebody who's doing what I call out of power negative sides to that personality. You do the positive side and you can have a really great relationship.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's really, you're saying to have compatible life colors, not necessarily the same colors.
Right. Well, some people have the same, like Ellen DeGeneres and Portia, they're both blue yellows. So they're compatible. They've got the same aura colors. But I have seen people like blue yellows and yellow violets are very compatible. They're not the same. Greens and violets can get along the best, or greens and reds can get along the best. So it just depends. Like if two people are violets, like violet, yellow, they can create amazing things. Like the Beatles were all violet yellow. Spielberg, George Lucas, violet yellow. George Clooney and Amal Clooney, violet yellow. So they can create amazing things together. However, the challenge is violets need to have their own spotlight. They need to have their own empowerment, their own projects, their own freedom. So if they are on the same page and everybody's got their own category that they work in, then they can get along fine. But if not, there's a lot of competition. Violets like to be in the spotlight. They like to be empowered. They like to have freedom. So if they do it together, awesome. But ultimately, well, look, the Beatles all broke up because they each needed their own spotlight. Spielberg and Lucas can create great things together, but then they also have to do their own projects. So similar aura colors, but not always good together.
I see. That makes sense. Well, is there anything that makes a difference when you're wearing a color? Because I notice you're wearing blue. And does that magnify your aura or complement it in some way?
That's such a great question. This is so funny. When I was doing in-person readings, or even on Zoom or whatever, it was so funny because people would end up showing up wearing their aura colors. And it was funny because people would come and go, I never wear purple, so I don't know why I wore purple today. And I go, that's because you have a violet aura. So you were making sure that I saw that. Does it enhance it? It can. If people are aware, it can enhance it. If they put their aura colors in their environment, it can enhance it. A lot of times people are drawn to the colors of their aura. So a lot of yellows like having yellow in their environment or wearing it. A lot of blues like wearing blues. They're drawn to the color blue. But it's not always the case.
Okay. Got it. That makes sense. Well, let's play another clip from Stream Plus from your course, Aura Colors. What is an aura?
So tell me, what is an aura?
An aura is an electromagnetic energy field that radiates off of all matter
It comes off the body. It comes off of animals, rocks, everything. The way I see it is these beautiful colored lights that radiate out from people, and lots of different bands of color. Now, some people see the aura differently. We feel it differently. We've all felt someone's energy. But what I see is the one or two colors closest to a person's body are their life colors. That reveals their personality, what's important to them. And then there are lots of different colors in the outer bands that change all the time, according to what's going on with the person at the time. But the one or two colors closest to the person's body, the life colors, I haven't seen those usually change, even though people have free will and they can do anything they want. But the life colors are the ones that show the life purpose and the personality.
Can anyone see auras, or is this...
That's a great question. I do believe anyone can see auras. I believe we all have the ability. A lot of people feel the aura, a lot of yellows. They're more kinesthetic. They can feel the energy, which is why they're healers. But anyone can see the auras. We've just learned how not to. And Kim, I believe that people have been able to see auras for centuries. That's why you see those paintings with the halo around the head, around great spiritual teachers or masters. I believe it's because the aura around those people was really bright and people actually saw it.
I love that you reference those paintings of great spiritual teachers. It kind of brings things full circle.
Right. Well, here's another interesting thing. At least I find it interesting. I think people have been able to see the auras, aura colors and everything for centuries. We use it in our language. We talk about red with passion, red with anger, red with rage. That's a red personality. We talk about true blue, and I'm feeling blue today. That's what blues are like. We have happy face yellows and chicken yellow. I mean, that describes a yellow too. I mean, so I believe and the royal robes of violet, you know, reds used to be in power. So the robes of royalty were red now, and then they went to violet or purple. So I think people have been seeing and sensing the aura colors for a long time.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And we have a question from our audience. Gurnam says, is there a correlation between aura colors and astrology or any other system?
Absolutely. Again, they're all helpful tools that we left behind just in case we got here and forgot why we were here, which is really easy to do here because it's so chaotic and information overload and people telling you who you should be instead of who you sense you are deep inside. So there should be absolute correlation between the astrology, numerology, palmistry, all of those should have a correlation. And it's to help people validate and remember who they are so they can live the purpose, the life purpose and the plan that they had when they came here.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I want to shift our conversation from limited thinking to quantum leap and transformation and the concept of parallel universes. So yeah, some of us hear those words and immediately shut down. It might be too difficult to understand. How do you guide others into this realm in a way that lessens fear and is easier to comprehend?
Cool. Well, this is one of the most fun ones that have come up recently. I love this. It's really shifted my life very easily. So I want people to know, first of all, way back when people used to believe there was only one continent and then only one planet and then only one solar system and then only one galaxy. And now they're seeing that there's more than just one universe, right? Parallel universes. And I'm going to show you in a lay term how I understand how these work. It's basically a different frequency. So I use this example. In the room you're in right now, there's at least 10 radio stations broadcasting around you, but you don't know they're there because you're not tuned into their frequency. If you turn on your radio and you put the dial to say 99.9, you're going to hear the music, the talk, the program that's coming out of that, and that becomes your reality is involved in that one. Then if you change over to 107, now you're going to hear different music, different talk, different program. That becomes part of your reality now. Now 99.9 is still broadcasting around you, but you're not aware of it because you're not tuned into that frequency. So physicists, quantum physicists are saying it's a real thing. And it's actually really fun, you guys. It's an amazing quick way we do it all the time. We're just not aware of it, to change your circumstances. So If you're listening to a song on the radio you don't like, you can change the channel and listen to something else. What people don't realize is that we can do that with our lives too. So what physicists have said is that every time you make a choice to do something, let's say you're walking down the main street headed for meeting up with a friend, and you're late for the meeting, but you pass this coffee shop and you go, oh, I really want to get a coffee. And so part of a real you, this is how huge we really are. This is how massive our souls really are. And I'm talking straight out. I'm telling you the whole thing here. Okay. I mean, straight out truth, like big time. I'm not holding back on anything anymore. Because I use these all the time, and people who have spontaneous remission, I really believe they shifted into another universe. But so one aspect of you actually went forward and went on to meet your friend, and another you went into the coffee shop, got the coffee, and then that you went on to meet your friend. And you're living in both those lives. It's kind of like the Matrix here. You're living both those lives. But we've been trained to believe that there's only one universe, only one reality. So we think that just because we go through one, that that's the only real one, when there's lots of different ones going on. And if you want to change your life, I mean, whether it's money, relationship, because I used it to change my relationship ability. I like big time, big time. If you ever want to hear that story, I can share that story. But you can change your life really easily. And the way you do it is by changing your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotional energy. It shifts you into another universe. Now, what physicists are saying is we're doing it all the time. We're just not aware we're doing it. We think there's just one, because there's no walls, there's no doorways, there's no, division that we can tell. We just flow effortlessly from one frequency to another. Anyway, it's a great way to change your life. You don't have to, so cool, you guys. You don't have to change anything on the outside of you. Like, I fell in love with this guy years ago, right? And he didn't want to have anything to do with me. And I was like, oh my gosh. And he moved to the East Coast. I was devastated. And then I started learning, and he moved away. And 2 years later, I started learning about parallel universes. And I went, you know what? When physics uncovers something, we should be able to use it, just like aerodynamics. When they finally realized that aerodynamics was a real thing, we were able to fly, right? Which made our lives, gave us more ease and more freedom, right? So I went, well, parallel universes are a real thing. We should be able to use those to have more ease and more freedom. So I did a meditation where I called the universe I was in universe number 1. And I did a meditation where I saw myself, I purposely, intentionally shifted my belief, shifted my thoughts, shifted my imagination, right? And went into universe number 2. And I looked and I went, no, he's really happy on the East Coast. He likes the band he's playing with. He's seeing some girl. I would feel guilty trying to, try to manipulate that. No, I'm not going to stay in that universe. So I kept going into different universes in my imagination, but I could feel it in my energy. I noticed in universe number 1, I didn't like myself a whole lot. I didn't feel attractive. I didn't feel lovable. I didn't feel like I was good enough for him. I didn't feel like we were going to be together. I shifted into what I'm going to call universe number 5. And in that one, Charissa, I could feel the sun on my body. I could feel the grass on my feet. It's like everything. I went, wow, it was just as real to me. I knew it was a real universe, just as real as the one that I was in number 1. And in universe number 5, I saw him giving notice to the band that he was in on the East Coast, not breaking up with whatever girl he was in at the time because she was too young, going to Iowa to see his meditating friends, going to LA to see his rock and roll friends, and coming back to Santa Barbara, and we were going to be together. And I knew it was real. It was very real. It was just like changing to a different movie, right? But in that one, I also felt like he did love me. He was attracted to me. He did miss me. He wanted to be with me. That was just as real as this one. So I changed how I was perceiving myself and I changed how I was perceiving him. I didn't have to go change him. Anyway, 2 weeks later, after that experience, I called him. Now, remember, I hadn't seen him he moved away 2 years prior, right? And so I called him. Why wouldn't I? Because I knew he missed me. We were compatible. It's like he missed me. We loved each other. So I called him up and I said, hey, how's it going? what's new? And he said, well, 2 weeks ago, I gave notice to the band. I'm going to stop seeing this girl I've been seeing because she's too young. I'm going to Iowa, I'm going to LA, and I'm coming back to Santa Barbara. And that's who I've been with now for 40 years.
Oh my God.
But here's the weird thing. I didn't stalk him. I didn't manipulate him. I
Yeah.
tried to convince him. I changed my inner reality. And here's the
Mhm.
strange thing. In universe number one, all my girlfriends were single and complaining about it. They wanted to be married. They wanted to have kids. They're all complaining about it. Now, 2 weeks later, and then when this guy comes back, right, all my girlfriends are getting married. They're all having children. And I went, oh my gosh. So everything on the outside also shifted because I was in a different universe.
Oh,
Back
that's
then, 40 years ago, I didn't want to go up to him and go, hey, in another universe, you guys are all single and complaining about it. But I thought they'd think I was crazy, so I didn't say anything to him.
yeah. I thought you were going to say that you ended up with a different guy, that you changed your vibration, but it ended up being the same guy. Wow.
It was a different aspect of that same guy. It was a different version of that same soul. It was
Okay.
him, but I want to say, like, okay, you can see George Clooney in a movie, like one movie you're watching him in, right? You change the channel to another movie, it's still George Clooney, but he's in another movie. That's what I
Mhm.
did. I
Oh
changed
my gosh.
inside me. And I know it sounds like science fiction, you guys, but I'm telling you, a lot of things that used to be declared science fiction are now science fact. You know,
Hmm.
cell phones, space travel, airplanes, so, all of that stuff is like, so this is real, and it makes life so much more fun, so much more exciting, and so much easier than trying to change the circumstances on the outside. That's like going to a movie and not liking the movie and going up to the screen and trying to change it on the screen. It's like, I
Hmm.
can try that. It's a lot harder. It takes more work, but ultimately, I just dropped my energy on universe one. I just stepped out of it. I stopped feeding it. I stopped believing in it and switched over into the one I wanted to be in, and surrounded myself and filled myself with it and immersed myself in that one. And that's what showed up. Sometimes people call it the law of attraction.
Mm.
It's like it's but it's not like, oh, please, 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 I want this, because now you're affirming the one that you don't have.
Ah,
So,
yes.
like, no, this is already real. All these universes already exist. That's how bizarre this is. But you know what?
Mm.
We've been seeing it in our movies. We have Back to the Future, Somewhere in Time, Frequency. One of my favorites is Yesterday. It's like there's all kinds of movies out there showing
Yeah.
us hello universe.
Outlander. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. Well, you have this course on Stream Plus where you're teaching these incredible spiritual principles on taking a quantum leap and transformation. I'd love to play a clip on that if you have that, Jim. Quantum leap. You are already masters.
You guys are already masters. You're already grand masters, profound beings that basically are just having a dream. We're making a movie up right now, but you're actually already powerful masters. And we've been taught to believe that we're not. We've been taught to believe that we're little victims or just little biological machines. And so I'm going to show you how that's not the truth, how you can actually create anything you desire, anything, anything. You are absolutely unlimited, infinite beings with no limits, no limits, no limits, no limits. The only limits you're going to experience are the ones you believe in.
That's so inspiring.
And Chris,
Yes.
people to know it's experiential.
Yes.
They're
Yes. You
being
go
alone.
through meditations and you have people actually experience it, which is so incredible. It's truly a workshop.
Yeah, we bend spoons even. It's
Oh,
because it's cool. When I first learned how to bend spoons, I was taught by we were in a group with an aerospace engineer, and he had us holding the spoons, and we're all like, oh yeah, right, 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 bend, 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 yeah, right, right, right. None of us were believing it, right? It felt like forever we were holding these spoons, and then all of a sudden, a woman in the back yelled out, and we turned around and her spoon was falling over. And as soon as we saw that, our spoons bent. So it's helpful to be with a group of people. You can do it alone, or you can bring your friends in and have a whole workshop together, do these together, because it's very experiential. And it seems easier to believe when other people are in the room being psychic with you or bending spoons with you, or, going through these meditations. You can do it on your own because there's lots of exercises and meditations, or you can bring friends in. It's really fun. It's very expansive.
Yes, that's great. Well, encourage your friends to join Stream Plus with you and do this together. So I have a lot of questions from the audience. So let's get to it. Can you have a dream of yourself in another universe? That's from Carol.
Absolutely. That's probably you tuning into another version of you. A lot of dreams are lots of different things, either prophetic, like you're seeing a future vision of something that's coming, which means it's already happening. Einstein said, just because you haven't gotten to the lake yet doesn't mean it doesn't exist already. So the only way I could see future events, probable realities, is if they already exist. So dreams can either be you're connecting with a version of you that's showing you what's coming. It can be you working out something, your subconscious working out something you're dealing with right now, but you're still getting guidance possibly from your higher self, or from another version of you having another experience.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, I mean, some people say that the dream is real and like this life is, made up, and it can be whatever we want. So that's
We
part
should
of,
be having way more fun with all of this. We've turned this,
yeah.
we came here for the adventure, for the experience, and it's become kind of a nightmare for a lot of people because we've lost an understanding of who we really are, that we're creating it all, right? For fun and for the experience. And if you want to learn something, awesome. But so I'm doing my best to help people expand and see who they really are and have more fun in life and create the love they want, the joy, the freedom, the abundance that they want. And there's lots of ways to do that so that we don't think we're these little biological machines. We're trapped and victims. We got to get out of victim consciousness.
Yeah, and that's part of our evolution, right?
Yeah.
It's getting our power back. So I have a comment here from Jeffrey. I love studying quantum science and love what Pam says about parallel universes. So thank you for that. And then we have a question about auras. Is there a change to our aura from the stages of life? Child, adult, maturity, and does menopausal impact an aura?
So the two colors, the bands of colors that are closest to the body, those don't usually change. Now they can become more vibrant when somebody's happy and healthy. They can get diminished if somebody's unhealthy or depressed or not wanting to be here anymore. So the vibrancy changes. So it can turn into a bright, vibrant blue, or it can turn into a heavy blue or a faded blue, but it's still a blue. These two colors don't usually change. Now, I would never limit somebody and tell them that they can't change their life purpose whenever they want to. It's the outer bands that change over time. So, for example, if somebody's a child and they're really in their authentic self, and then as they get older, they're told they're supposed to be something else, they can add a color in their outer bands and sort of suppress their natural life colors. So that can change over time if somebody buys into who you are is not okay and you need to be what I want you to be, or somebody else says what you're supposed to be. The life colors don't go away, but they can be suppressed.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then we could do a healing or go to a healer and maybe remove those blocks and get the true essence of your aura back, right?
Yeah, one way to do it, or you can shift into a parallel universe and free yourself up and start living right off the bat, just going, I don't think I'm going to be my authentic self now.
Oh, brilliant. Even better and faster.
Depends on what kind of process they want to do. Some people want the process.
That's true.
Going through the healing and the deep emotional journey. There's nothing wrong with that. We want to have feelings, we want to have experiences. And other people's like, when I go to the East Coast, I want to get there now. I want to fly. I don't want to drive across the country again. But everyone's got free will. They get to do it however they want.
Oh, that's a good point. Because sometimes the journey is wonderful and there's wisdom to be gained in that. Um, in parallel lives, do our colors correlate with another life?
Okay, so these are great questions. I love your audience. Again, I would never limit someone. I believe in 100% free will. So if somebody wants to change their aura colors, they can. In other lifetimes, people have been every single aura color.
Oh,
In other life
interesting.
color, you might have been a red and an orange, which is more physical and, knights or cavemen or, something more physical. So in other lifetimes, absolutely, you've chosen to be different aura colors for the experience of being that type of personality in that lifetime.
Oh, that's so cool. And that great question was from Linda. So appreciate that, Linda. And what are some of the common do's and don'ts that we need to remember when experiencing a quantum leap?
Do's and don'ts. Um, First of all, I don't like putting rules on anybody. I suggest
Okay.
when you do it, have fun. A lot of people are afraid to do some of these advanced abilities because they don't trust themselves or they feel like something bad will happen. The more you trust yourself and the more you play with this and experiment with it, the more fun it is, the more expansive you get, the more freedom you have, the more you create everything that you want in your life. And then you can inspire others around you to do the same. So, one, I'd say allow yourself not to be afraid. Be playful with it, have fun, be still so you can listen to your soul's guidance about what you're doing with it. If you go into fear, you know what? If you're, a lot of people like to go to scary movies or war movies or dramas or horror movies. I don't like
Not
those.
me.
No, I don't like those movies, but there are people that like that. So if
Yeah.
you were to do something and it scares you, either one, get the juice out of that, but that could block you. That could block you. Get the experience out of it until you're over it, or choose not to be afraid. I've been doing this for decades now, and there's nothing scary about it. It's actually
Mm,
the only challenge is doubt. Is doubt.
mhm.
But the more I do it, the less doubt I have. So everything we've learned by practicing, right? So don't give up on yourself. If you're being drawn to these things, it means your soul wants to evolve. It wants you to have different experiences that are freer and more expansive and more fun. So listen to your soul and trust that it knows exactly what it's doing and what it's saying to you.
Mm. Yes, good advice. So we have another question from Guranam. When can we teleport? I keep waiting and wanting that from the universe, and it hasn't happened yet.
Okay, I'm going to say something really funny, only because I do believe that parallel universes are real. We're way expansive. We're so much more. We're infinite and we're immortal and we're eternal. So watch this. In another parallel universe. So I've had people ask, like,
Oh my God, you just like went to another universe right then and there?
yeah.
Ah,
So
sorry.
so here's the deal. So I've had people say, well, where's humanity headed? Now I know where it's headed in the universe I'm in because I've been guided to, we're headed for a new renaissance. Everything's going to be awesome. We're going to be much more evolved. That's where we're going. Other people, you're going to end up in a universe that you believe in. Okay. So there's no one outcome. The outcome is basically you are your creator. You are going to end up in the universe that you believe in and help create. So for people that are afraid that the world is going to be destroyed, if you put energy into that, you're going to experience that universe. It really is self-empowerment and self-creation, not blame, self-creation. And once you realize that you're creating, boy, the fear goes away.
Yeah. So when you talk about these parallel universes, does that correlate to being multidimensional beings? In what ways are we multidimensional beings?
Yes, that's what I mean by we are infinite beings. We're multidimensional, and that means other lives. I had a radio show for 11 years and I had a lot of people on that had near-death experiences, and they're all over the internet now. I mean, you go to YouTube and put in near-death experiences,
Yeah.
there's a lot more people having them now because medical
We
science.
have them on Stream Plus too, a lot. Yeah.
People are being brought back from death now because medical science has evolved enough that people don't have to die from heart attacks anymore, et cetera. So most of the ones that I've heard that share this say that when they're on the other side, they see all their lifetimes happening simultaneously because there's no time over there. Time is a three-dimensional construct that we have here, but all our lives are happening simultaneously, including all the versions of you in this lifetime are happening simultaneously. You just may not be tuned into a particular you, you know, that you wanting to go to because you don't believe in it, or you don't feel like you deserve it, or you the old paradigm that we're biological machines that have no say over anything. But all of these lifetimes are already happening. So that means you can tune into a you that's alive in the 1600s, and you can help it evolve. As soon as you evolve, it affects all the other multi-dimensional yous that are out there having different experiences. That's how huge we really are. Our oversoul, our grand soul is unlimited. We're having unlimited experiences.
Yes. What a perfect statement to end our show today. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for From Limited Thinking to Quantum Leap in Transformation with Pam Oslie. Pam's courses, Beginner and Premium Aura Colors and Quantum Leap, are available now on the Stream Plus platform. So join now and gain immediate access to these incredible programs. And if you're not a member, it's time to join. And we're proud to say that Humanities Stream Plus is the largest global streaming platform for consciousness raising masterclasses and transformational education. And we are a nonprofit and also give back with our 1-for-1 program. I wanted to thank Steve Farrell, Dee Meyer, and the production team, Jim Gray, Garth Catterall, Abby Johnson, Nanette Kennedy, and the rest of Humanities team that made today's production possible. It's been a pleasure connecting with you again, Pam. Thank you for all you do in the world. I appreciate it.
You as well.
All right. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.